Well, John Delony, Johnny D, he's back at it again this time. Crossdresser calls in. Man, he says that he has been abused as a child, has struggles with cross-dressing, and that's sad. There's no doubt in my mind he's got struggles, he's got problems, he's got, issues that you got to deal with that comes with that. I'm no psychiatrist, obviously, but, I've heard and know about those type of issues. So you feel bad for the guy. And Johnny D gives terrible advice, in my opinion, about this. I mean, come on, man. Well, actually, he gives him no advice at all. He just kind of goes, oh, man, I feel your pain, blah, blah, blah. You need to get rid of your anxiety or something. Okay, so let's give a lesson. First off, his advice, he says, listen, well, you're cross-dressing. He likes to do this in his home. He says, well, feminine and masculine, it's kind of gray. It's gray. Well, what is feminine and what is masculine? Here we go. Let's listen to it here.
I think that some things are clearly labeled feminine and masculine. And I think anybody across any spectrum can look at it and go, yeah, that's feminine and masculine. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff it's a lot grayer than we like to pretend it is, right? Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So Johnny D says, hey, feminine and masculine, boy, some things are very clear, some things are not. Okay, what's one of those things that's then very clear, Johnny D? What's very clear? If you're wearing feminine clothes, if you're wearing dresses around your house, if you're doing those kinds of things, that's very clear. That would be feminine. Hello. Okay. Now, this is supposed to be Mr. Christian Counselor guy on Dave Ramsey's show. Mr. Christian Counselor. Well, we think, if I'm a Christian counselor, maybe I should give Christian advice that would come from this old book that we sometimes read in church. What's the name of that book? The Bible. Yeah, the Bible. What is there? Does the Bible say anything about this? Does the Bible say? Wait a minute, it does. Dust off the old Bible here. Various laws. First, it's chapter Deuteronomy 22. It starts off about your donkey. It falls into a hole. Help out your neighbor if his donkey falls in a hole. Those kinds of things. That's good to do. Now, verse 5, a woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear woman's clothing. For the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. What? I mean, that's pretty clear. That's pretty clear, right? Don't wear women's clothing. What is clearly women's clothing? Is it jeans? Well, maybe that's not so clear. A dress? Yes, that's clear. That is women's clothing. Hello. Okay. Let's listen up. One more thing, Johnny D on here. He says you don't have any mental issues if you desire to wear what's clearly women's clothing and you are a man. You don't have any, there's no issues here. There's no issues up here. Let's listen.
Health professional, it's good. Now hear me say, I don't think you have a mental health disorder because you enjoy wearing women's clothes. I think anyone who says that's incorrect. I think you are desperate to stop feeling so anxious all the time. Is that fair?
So, hey, you want to wear women's clothes? You want to walk around in dresses? Hey, you don't have there's no mental problems here. No problems. What? What are you talking about? There's no problems? Now, again, I feel bad for this guy that he does feel like he needs to wear women's dresses to feel good about himself. I would say, yes, there is a problem. You need to go to a good counselor who will actually give you good advice to lead you to a good place. And now this guy, he goes on for a half an hour about how, his friends accept it, his family, they don't ostracize him, but they don't necessarily 100% think everything is A-okay. And they shouldn't. I mean, this guy doesn't even think everything's A-okay when you listen to him explain. He knows there's something going on here. And Johnny D just says, hey, you're just anxious. What are you talking about? Here's the advice. I'm no psychiatrist, obviously. Here's the advice the PostMilMan would give. Hey, if you're a man, God made you a man. You may have been abused, and that's horrible, but God made you a man. You need to embrace masculinity. You need to embrace who God made you, and that does not include dressing like a woman, wearing dresses. that does not include that. 2 Samuel 10, verse 12. Joab tells one of his top men, these are the mighty men of David, Joab and Abishai. He looks over them, they're about ready to fight. And he says, Joab, let's be of good courage and let us play the man for our people and for our cities of God. Let's play the man. Now, what's that mean? It means let's stand up and act like men. We got courageous things to do. Let's act like a man. They're not putting on dresses and running around like women out here. I mean, come on. What kind of advice is this? This is terrible advice. Second place, I was thinking now, 1 Corinthians 16:13. This is the final advice to the Apostle Paul, from the Apostle Paul to the Corinthians church. And he's talking to the men. And he says, be on the alert. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. That would not include wearing dresses and acting like women. He says, stand up and act like a man. Be strong. Right? That is his encouragement to the church. This poor guy with advice like this, he's never gonna do well. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. This is supposed to be from Mr. Christian Counselor guy, too. Well, with all that being said, I know it's Pride Month right now, and that's sad too. People don't want to embrace who God's made them, godly sexuality. They want to reject that, and that's sad. But even with all that, Christ is still winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it until next time. This is the Post Millennial Man.